online novels are poised to become the fodder for the internet revolution. Why do I say this? Well, have you noticed how incredibly easy it is to read off the screen of an iPhone? This struck me as odd the other day when I was playing with my girlfriend's latest toy, sitting on the couch, just browsing through some of my favorite websites and reading articles from the iPhone. I have always had I was always concerned or hesitant to read from small screens. I never really thought the idea of reading from a small screen was something I'd enjoy. However, this invention is perplexing to an online novelist. I mean, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. You hold this in the cup of your hand, and you can read clearly every single sentence as if it were a book laid out in front of you. And it doesn't have the effect on the eyes that a computer screen does. So I had a good experience with this, and it got me thinking, wow, I mean, with the tradition or the conventional computer user becoming a cell phone user, and just internet being spread from more than one sort of device, you could imagine that things like online novels are going to gain more traction in the future. Now, Time Magazine's Lev Grossman just put out an article called Books Gone Wild: The Digital Age Reshapes Literature. I encourage you to go visit this the Time Magazine site and check out this article, Books Gone Wild. It is an interesting prediction of what online literature will mean and will look like in the future. Okay, so let's get to the meat of our discussion today. What is an online novel? An online novel typically was a novel, traditionally it was a novel that had been put into digital form for the readers, such as a PDF file or an HTML file or whatnot, but the novel had been written in print form and put into a digital form, such as the Gutenberg Library, which has the world's largest digital online literature collection. Now, I'm talking about something a little different, okay? I'm talking about an author who chooses not to compete in the world of publishing, or if he does, only as a last step. But his main or her main energies will focus on putting a novel online in progress, not something they've already completed. Although that can be true too. If you have a novel you'd like to put online, you can follow this very same method. Now, the blogging has dramatically changed the way we read online. There was once a time when blogging was looked at as a narcissistic, self-indulgent form, akin to putting all your deepest thoughts and desires onto an online platform that everyone could read. Very me. But blogging has changed a lot lately. I mean, we're seeing big companies use blogs. We're seeing small businesses use blogs. We're seeing families use blogs. Mothers use blogs. Fathers use blogs. Blogging has changed the way we read. And although there have been predictions that blogging is going to die, we just keep seeing a continual recrudescence of rebirth of it over and over. It doesn't seem like it's going away anytime soon. For me, as an online novelist, I came at a time when blogging was almost reaching this higher peak, and I saw the blogging platforms, Blogger, LiveJournal, and WordPress as being a wonderful medium to convey my writing. Now, my history as a writer and my history of the book I'm writing involves a long, how should I say it, gestation period. I had been filling notebooks for many years before I came up with the idea to put my writing on blog form. I had been creating a sort of life story of my alter ego, which is fictional and autobiographical at the same time. But each of these journals focused on a different period of my character's life. And then it occurred to me that I could put each section of this novel onto a different blog. And readers could go from one to the other, following their own desires, their own interests, the peaks of their own curiosity, and follow this thread at their own discretion, however they wish. The online novel presents a lot of new opportunities. One is nonlinear reading. Now, there are some drawbacks to too much nonlinearity. Recently, I've looked at some hypertext novels, which hypertext was popular, the catchphrase was popular in the late 90s, and people were putting together these things called hypertexts. Blogging has changed what a hypertext is. It has almost made the term hypertext seem a little antiquarian. Now, hypertext per se, if you were to look up hypertext in Google and find some hypertext examples, you'd find they're a little hard to read, and they're totally nonlinear. So if you click on any portion of the text, it'll take you to another portion. That's not exactly what I'm talking about. That is more akin to a zigzag motion of sending you all over the place, da-da-da-da-da, and you really don't have any firm ground of the central text. There is no central text. It's a completely decentered text. Now, online novels, I think, will succeed in a combination of some non-linearity and some very extreme linearity. What I mean by extreme linearity, I'm referring to the 19th century, 18th century serial novel. We're talking Charles Dickens. The serial novel is something we're seeing again in blog fiction. Blog fiction meaning the use of blogs to write fiction. Serial narratives are becoming more popular because each blog post is like a chapter. It is like a serial, and we can read these serials week after week as people did in the 19th century, reading serials in newspapers. And still there are New York Times Magazine has serials, fiction serials. So, where do you start? How do you begin? If you're interested in writing an online novel, I'd suggest taking a look at the different blogging platforms and finding out which platform suits your aesthetic needs. It's all about how you are going to come across to your readers. Blogger has some advantages over WordPress. WordPress has some advantages over Blogger. And yet, LiveJournal is another alternative. I do not have much experience with TypePad, although I like the clean designs. I'm going to give you some information on the ones I do know. Now, if you're interested in the advantage of WordPress is by far the templates. WordPress has the most creative, unique templates of any platform out there. And if you're looking to create a very unique signature for your online novel, I suggest looking at WordPress. The other advantage of WordPress is that WordPress has a lot of, they're very searchable. WordPress blogs are very effective in search engine optimization, and they can be tweaked to produce the best search engine results.